Feedback listeners are up in arms at what they feel is another unwelcome linguistic epidemic.
My name's Robert Hunter. I'm from Wakefield, Yorkshire. I have been increasingly irritated over the last couple of years by the increasing use of the word so when prefacing a sentence.
Yeah, so the Scout Jamboree.
So after a spinal cord injury...
I'm Kay from Belfast. I don't think so is an appropriate word with which to begin a sentence.
Yeah, so...
So at the moment...
My name is Fergus Cameron from Glasgow. Every time I hear it, the hair on my neck rises and my teeth bear in a grimace. What can you do?
But why has so become so common? And what are we doing when we use it to start a sentence? I spoke to Heike Pickler, senior lecturer in sociolinguistics at Newcastle University, and I started by asking whether the use of so is really a growing phenomenon.
Yeah, I certainly hear it more, like your listeners on the radio and also in amongst my students, my colleagues and so on.
Do you think it's used just as a meaningless punctuation?
No, not at all, not at all. So this was kind of the original, or is the core meaning of so. And a natural consequence of us using language is that it sometimes changes and that these features like so, they take on new meanings. And that's, I think, what has happened with so, that it is no longer restricted to these pure causal meaning where it kind of means therefore as a consequence, but it has spread in meaning.
Why is it spread? Why is it so useful? So, oh gosh, I'm not going to get through this interview without using it. Why is it so useful to people?
So falls into the category of features that we call discourse markers or pragmatic particles. And these are features like so, in it, like, the know, and stuff. And they are very ubiquitous in speech. But their meanings are extremely subtle and sometimes really imperceptible. And that's what often gives them such a bad reputation, because we can't really put our finger on what it does.
Well, I sometimes in my scripts are actually rather a lot say now, but I thought I was using it in terms of saying now we're moving on to a different subject matter, but maybe I just use it as a punctuation.
But see, by using now in this way of saying we're moving on to something, you're actually signaling something very important to your listeners. You're essentially signaling this topic is over, we're moving on to the next one, and if you only listened to the program because of this program, you can now go away.
Oh, well, now we're going to try and see how this works with a little quiz. We have some clips here, each with the use of the word so, and I hope you're going to be able to help us work out what's going on.
I'll try.
Here's the first. It's from Radio 4's Inside Science.
What did those comparisons tell you?
So we used a number of techniques, and in the field we used a technique where we could...
So, Heike, what was going on there?
In this case, I think the so might be quite important because the interviewee doesn't go straight to the answer, i.e. we found X, Y, and Z, but he kind of does a little detour via how did we get to the outcome. And the so signals, I am cooperating, I'm going to get to where you want me to get, but let me explain how we got there first.
OK, how about this one from an interview with a police commissioner on the Today programme?
What are you saying would happen if there were riots again?
So what we're saying today is we're setting out, I think, a clear position.
Now, Heike, if you took that so off the front, you'd lose nothing, would you?
The so makes it less abrupt. It signals, again, this cooperation. And it also, it signals confidence. Because the speaker could have started with like, oh, I don't know, I never really thought about that. And then you would be like, maybe we should have interviewed somebody else because he doesn't know. Whereas the so signals this confidence, I've got the answer right there.
My thanks to Heike Pickler of Newcastle University.